This is Bruce Skerritt, and I'm on Radioregent supporting all artists like no other station.
Hello, Toronto. Good afternoon, Toronto. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce Mr. Bruce Skerritt to Radioregent on the Cool Breeze Experience Show. My name is Curtis Anthony. Welcome. Thanks for the opportunity to talk to you. We're going to talk about your evolution, your vision, mission, and spirituality of your music. But before we get into the meat of things, how have you been?
Well, for the most part, I've been doing, these days better than I have been recently. I've had some health issues that have kept me out of actively gigging for a couple of years, but now I'm back on the scene and gigging a little more and more.
Good. That was great, because you were supposed to come down Canada Day and you felt sick, but you still wanted to come. And I go, wow, that's the spirit. I said, Bruce, don't push yourself. I'm here every Saturday. There's a spot open for you. And you tried last week, and finally today you managed to get things together. But what blew me away was when I covered the arsenals on Fairbank Flavors, and you were jamming the keyboard there. I said, this man can't be sick. No way. Bruce lying to me here, because the man getting down like an octopus and doing his thing. But I was impressed with that, because that's the spirit of the human being, what they're capable of doing under any condition. You know what I'm saying? So Bruce, tell us, what is a normal day for you outside of music?
Wow. Well, as you know, I'm into photography quite a bit.
Yes.
So I do quite a bit of that.
Right.
And these days, I'm starting to write more stuff again. I just showed you something I wrote this morning, as a matter of fact.
Impressive.
Aside from that, I am taking part in St. Kitts. There's a big reunion show happening in September.
Okay.
September 23rd, to be precise.
Okay.
And it is a reunion of performers from the 60s, 70s, to a point the 80s.
Okay.
Getting back together again.
Nice. Going
on there and putting this nostalgic kind of thing together.
Right.
Some of the music you play, as a matter of fact, that's Silver Rhythm. Silver Rhythm Combo is the name of one of the top bands from back then.
Okay. Wow.
So that medley of tunes is three tunes that we used to play. So I recorded that all on my own. Okay. As just for fun.
Right.
But the band will be getting back together and playing those tunes too.
Beautiful. Because amazing music. When I heard the stuff, I said, I gotta pull some of those tracks and play it while you're here, so the fans could hear your music. Because there's a lot of stuff that people not familiarized with. But
I'll give you some of the other performers. Eddie Stacks. You know Eddie Stacks?
Okay.
Up here, performer up here.
Right.
He's also going on to perform on the show.
Nice.
We have people flying in from Miami, from New York, Margaret Atherton, we have Slim Edwards, we have quite a few, Richie Bunton, quite a few performers going back to St. Kitts to do this reunion show.
Right. Bruce, tell the fans from a historical perspective, how did you get started?
Well, first of all, I have no formal training in music.
Okay.
How did I learn to play? I have no formal training in riding a bicycle either.
Okay. But you learn, you try.
You learn to ride a bike by riding the bike.
Okay.
You're going to fall.
Right.
Otherwise, you're not learning to ride a bike properly. As a matter of fact, if you don't fall, you're doing it wrong.
Okay. All right. Where did your love and passion for music come from, and how did that influence your style as a musician?
Well, I think my love and passion for music is, for me, no different to my love and passion for soccer, love and passion for painting, for writing, for photography. I got a love and passion for life.
Okay.
The individual things, like yeah, sure, they're all part of the whole thing.
Right.
So what do I do? When?
Okay.
My old man called me grasshopper brain, because I just jumped from I did too much. As a matter of fact, I'm firmly convinced that if I was born in this country, I would never have been able to do all that I've done.
I can relate to that.
2 national teams at home, soccer and basketball.
Right.
Music, poetry, everything. I would have been probably put in some kind of specialized program or something for,
Right.
what they call it again, ADD?
Yeah, well, they got a borderline genius and all that kind
Well-
of stuff with that. Gifted.
See, I don't know. I think, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But don't forget,
Right.
brilliant people do stupid things too.
Well, yeah. No doubt.
So I'm not so sure how much I buy into this thing, how much is innate ability,
Yeah, yeah.
and how much is environment,
Right.
and how much is bust tail.
Right.
Because the acorn is not the oak tree,
True that.
right?
True that.
It can be.
Mm-hmm.
But so when people talk about potential and talent, to me
Yeah.
talent is a latent thing.
Yeah.
Undeveloped
Right.
dies.
Right.
If
And-
Usain Bolt stopped training the way he's training and running for 6 months,
Mhm.
you think he'll get back there?
No.
Not
It's
likely.
tough. No.
So see, again,
Talent without hard work means nothing.
excellence is not an accident.
Right.
I ain't saying that, I'm not referring to me, but excellence period, because it applies no matter
That's
what you're doing.
True. If you don't apply,
I try to live my life on my grammar school motto.
Right.
Principia non homines. It means Latin.
Mhm.
It means principles, not men.
Okay.
So I don't care who says it.
Right.
I care what is said and how much sense it makes.
Okay.
Who said it's truth doesn't care who speaks it.
Right.
Food doesn't care who cooks it.
Right.
Music doesn't care who plays it.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So for me, I don't play music. It's the music playing me. I get in the way. I'm just a filter. I'm just a conduit.
Right.
Like electricity, like water, it
Yes,
will take
flow.
the path of least resistance.
Okay. That's his quite the illuminating explanation. Bruce, I have to ask you, what would you say is the one thing more than any other that accounts for your success? Talent, luck, charm?
All the above, I guess. But in what kind of
Hard work.
proportion, I don't know. But I know a lot of it is bust tail because
Yes,
again, no
hard
formal
work.
training in anything.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But again, I look, if you're playing basketball
Right.
or tennis,
Mm-hmm.
what's the best way to improve? You want to know the
Practice.
best way to improve? No, practice what? Practice what? Go and get your backside kicked.
Yes.
Play with people better than you.
Mm-hmm. All the time.
If you play beneath your level, you're going to sink to that level.
True that.
If you hang out in the dump, you start smelling like it, and you don't realize how you smell. Go get your backside kicked. You're going to be sink or swim.
Mm-hmm.
You either rise up yourself.
Right.
You have no choice. You're going to improve anyway.
Right.
Even if you don't notice it.
Okay.
Some people improve more at a faster rate.
Right.
But everybody will improve by getting the backside kick.
Absolutely.
Lightweight does not build big muscles. KMC does not make a good sailor.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make things too easy on your kids. You're not doing them any favors.
True
You're
that.
setting them up for failure.
Mm-hmm.
Because when hard time comes, and it's not if, it's when,
They can't
they
take the
won't be
pressure.
able to handle it.
Right. Bruce, tell us some of the bands you're affiliated with in your country.
Some kids?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
First, the first band I played with was China, kind of by accident.
Okay.
I was at a party and the percussionist
Yeah.
in the band, the convent school
Right.
had a band,
Mhm.
and the band was playing at this party.
Yeah.
And the percussionist didn't show up.
Okay.
So I jumped on the bongos and started beating the living crap out of them.
Okay.
And they asked me to join the band.
Okay.
But I never went to convent school. I went to grammar school.
Right.
Going to grammar school, playing in convent school band.
Okay.
So that's the first little thing. Didn't last very long.
Right.
And then the Will Richards combo
Right.
is the first band I actually played the organ in.
Is that the man with the sax?
No. Will Richards was a guitarist.
Oh, he's a guitarist. Okay.
Well, he is a guitarist. He's
Okay.
still alive back in St. Kitts.
Okay. And you had told me a story one time. Some gentleman came with a band with a sax and told you to do something musically, and you couldn't figure out what that was, and you said, "Never again."
Oh, no. You're talking about my great uncle.
Oh, okay.
Uncle Freddie.
Yes.
Freddie Skerritt.
Yes.
And he is an alto player,
Okay.
and he played in New York. He lived in New York,
All right.
and then he moved to Florida. But in New York, he played with Machito's big band.
All right.
And Machito was a very famous Afro-Cuban salsa kind of
Right.
jazz band.
Mhm.
And he's actually with Machito's band. He's actually done an album with Charlie Parker.
All right.
So that's where his headspace is, okay?
Right.
So little Bruce now in St. Kitts, and everybody talking about Bruce, little Bruce Skerritt on the organ, and everybody, yeah. And Donkey always looks fast running by itself, you see? You understand about that
Yes,
donkey?
yes.
I got so much experience being a donkey, and I was being an ass, okay?
Right.
So Uncle Freddie comes home. I only ever met him twice.
Mhm.
So he comes home, and everybody talking about how Bruce is this brilliant player. He's so young and he's playing so well. See, you can't measure good, you know. Good is a comparison.
Right. Well, how did that term he used in music?
Okay, so Uncle Freddie says, man, you gather the whole family around this piano. I never had a piano at home, by my aunt's house.
Okay.
So everybody gathered around the piano. Bruce, please play me something, man. It is New York. So I sit down and I don't remember what I played on. I don't want to remember.
Right.
I don't want to remember that. So he said, man, blow over some changes, man. So little Bruce, poor little idiot me now, I'm thinking, huh? Blow over some changes? What the hell is he talking about? How can I blow a piano? So he said, man, until you could blow over changes, you ain't saying shh. Finish the rest. I ain't say it on the radio, but you know,
Right.
He's a jazz man.
Right.
They use language,
Right.
okay? I had no idea what he meant. So I was praying for the ground to open up and swallow me, but since that was an option, the other option was find out what he meant
Right.
and make sure nobody ever tell you that again.
Right.
Well, I don't believe anybody could tell me that now, because I bust my backside to understand.
Oh man, that's great. I love that story, man. Bruce, I have to ask you. I'm wondering, is there a time when you and your instrument are alone? And tell us about that intimacy.
Okay, the main part of me for music, my main instrument
Right.
is not a piano, it's not a saxophone, it's not a drum, it's my mind.
All right.
So I spend a lot of time with my mind, because if you can't think it, you can't play it.
And the greatest instrument is the mind.
Absolutely. If you can't think it, you can't say it. Say it. You can't say anything you can't think. Which came first, thoughts or words or deeds? Thoughts, of course. So I try to get that in order.
Right.
See, it's that balance between your thoughts, your vocabulary,
Right.
your voice, and that combination, and the way you speak, the way you can express yourself
Right.
with dynamics and all that.
Right.
Music ain't no different.
Okay.
It's about if you can't think it, you can't play it. But if you don't have the musical vocabulary to express your thoughts, you can't express them either. Just like speaking,
Right.
just like playing soccer. You have a soccer vocabulary,
Yeah.
which is all your skills. But it's not just about the skills. There's a difference between playing the ball and playing the game.
Right. Right.
20,000 kids in Brazil could run circles around Ronaldo, keeping the ball up in the air. But can they play the game? Probably not.
No. Right.
Harlem Globetrotters could play the ball real good. Can they beat the worst team in the NBA? Probably not,
Right.
because they play the ball real good, but not the game.
Right. True.
Same thing with music. The difference between playing the instrument and playing music.
Right. Bruce, is there anything in your musical journey that keeps you grounded and humble?
Yeah, the fact that the way I look at it again
Right.
is that I don't play no music, man. The music is the boss. It's bigger than me, bigger than anybody who ever tried to play it.
Right.
Again, we get in the way, and nobody on this planet who's honest with themselves can say that they can play what they hear in their heads exactly the way they hear it. Because in your mind, you don't have to take into account bad acoustics.
Right.
Instrument might be substandard. Your skills might not be up to par.
Right.
And they aren't, because you always, if you're not reaching for something else that's outside your ability now,
Right.
you've given up on growing.
Right.
And if you think you're perfect, then it's time for you to die.
Right.
Sorry.
Right. What are some of the milestones you have in your career, music career?
Well, the first one, of course, is making a joke and being taken seriously. When we were playing cricket,
Okay.
and the band, the same Will Richards combo, they were having a meeting. They had just kicked out the organist,
Okay.
and they were looking for somebody. And I heard I was batting. They were in the garage, and we had this 3 stumps drawn on the wall of the garage with charcoal.
Right.
That was what we were playing cricket with, right?
Right.
So I overheard this conversation with this band meeting. They're looking for an organist. I dropped the bat and I went in and I said, let me do it, let me try. Could I play? Not really.
Right.
I could tinkle and thing, but I figured if somebody could do it, I could do it too. I'm not scared.
Right.
And if I fail, so be it. If I fall off the bike, I get back up and go on the bike again. So that was a big thing for me.
Okay.
Carry Festa 81 in Barbados.
Right.
That was another moving experience. That's where I met Arturo Tapin, as a matter of fact.
Okay, yes.
When he had I think he had just been accepted to go to Berkeley.
Okay.
And we had a jam session with some of the guys from Skerritt up at Upper Level, which is the club they had in Barbados then, a jazz club.
Right.
At Upper Level. And we had this rollicking session with some of the guys from Skerritt. At that time, Arturo Sandoval and Paquito was still playing with Skerritt, right?
Wow.
So that was something else too.
I saw a tour a couple of months ago. It was
And
great.
that is where this English reporter lady came to chat with me. She pulled me aside and asked me about my musical background. Where did I study? And when I told her, no way, I don't have grade 1 in music. I have no. She says, okay, well, keep it like that. Don't do it. They're going to spoil you. I don't necessarily agree with that, because you determine if you let people spoil you.
True.
Once you have this strong enough mind, okay? So I don't entirely buy into that, but I completely understand what she meant.
All right. Okay.
Because too often we find that we become homogenized.
Right.
So everybody sounds the same.
Okay.
I think that is what she meant.
Okay.
Because of my lack of the formal technique, the traditional technique,
Yes.
things come out to me a little different.
Okay.
Like vocabulary.
Yes. That's
Again, there we go again. It's like your vocabulary. You speak. A friend of mine in Winnipeg, we were talking on the phone the other day, and he had me on speaker.
all right.
So he's from St. Kitts too. As a matter of fact, he's organizing the whole show. I'm doing the music and he's doing the organization, and he's performing on the show too. But the point is, I'm on speakerphone and his wife passes by, and he's married to a Canadian.
Okay.
So she remarked about my accent. So I said, hold on now. I don't speak with an accent. You listen with an accent. She said, oh, no. So I said, okay, look, to you don't speak with an accent, right? I do. She said, right. I said, well, put the shoe on the other foot. Exactly. So in other words, you're telling me that you don't have an accent, I listen with my accent, which is completely true too. Half full, half empty.
Right.
So the same kind of thing. Everybody speaks with their own accent and listens with their own. With music too.
Right.
That's why it comes out. That's why you have reggae. That's why you have ska. That's why you have swing. Because people hear things different.
Right.
And I'm not talking about the hear that you hear from sound. I'm talking about what you hear in your head before you play it.
Interesting. Bruce, the importance of a musical education and the business acumen, how important is that to a musician?
Vitally important, as
Okay.
in every other field.
All right.
How important is training in music? Well, it's important too, but
Yes.
not by itself. It's how you take it. You don't get education in school. You get access to information. You get access to people who can help you to educate yourself.
Right.
But you have to do it.
Right.
Nobody could educate you. Granny said you could lead a horse to the water, finish it for me. However, don't forget, you can't make it drink, no, but you can create conditions for it to want to drink.
Right. Right.
Run the backside, run it real hard, get it real tired. It probably will want some water.
Yeah.
But there are ways. The only motivation is self-motivation. Nobody can make you do anything you don't want to do. You hold a gun to somebody's head and tell them drink a glass of pee or whatever you want it, right?
Yeah.
They don't have to do it. You
Right.
pull that trigger. Where's the motivation? He still didn't drink it.
Right. And you kill him for no reason because you're pissed off.
You thought you had created conditions for him to motivate himself,
Yes.
but you didn't.
All right. Bruce, when you're playing, and that mystical moment of magic when you give the crowd and the crowd gives you back? Take us there.
Oh man, oh man. That's like, and Usain Bolt talks about the same thing.
Yeah.
When he's running, when he's in his zone, he doesn't think about it. He's not running anymore.
Right.
He's just it's just happening. It's just in the moment. It's just happening. When you playing tennis, when you don't think about it, you play so much better.
Right.
When you're speaking, how often you think of how to spell what you say? You don't.
Right.
So again, with music, I've given up on playing notes and chords and scales.
Okay.
I don't think I ever really looked at it like that, because when I'm speaking, I don't speak nouns and verbs and adjectives and tenses and syntax. I speak ideas.
Okay.
Well, music ain't no different. I don't play notes and scales and chords. I play ideas. I don't care what the name of the note is. I care how it sounds and how it relates to what else I'm playing.
All right.
I don't care how to spell what I say unless I have to write it down and tell somebody else. I care what it means.
All right. Great. Bruce, making a living in Toronto as a musician, how sustainable is that?
Well, you talking to don't forget that, yeah, I've been playing music since I came here in '86.
Right.
Playing music quite a bit with a whole lot of people, but the thing is, I've always had a day job.
Okay.
Well, not always. In '89, I started working with Long and McQuaid. As a matter of fact, I just retired last year from managing one of Long and McQuaid locations.
Okay.
Like 28 years.
Wow.
Right? So, I'm not sure if I'm the right person to ask about making a living as a musician.
All right. Fair enough.
Because it started, you see, balance again,
Yeah,
man.
that's
Balance.
it. Yes.
Balance.
Right.
When I came here, I came here as a full-time musician.
Okay.
I was doing reasonably well.
Yeah.
I ended up working with Salome Bay. I've worked with Eddie and I worked together.
Right.
Coconut Groove, Instant Gin, a whole lot of different people that I work with.
Right.
So I was doing okay, but then kids came along. See,
Changing
I had to look like up in the income a little bit,
Yes.
and just by coincidence, Long and McQuaid needed somebody for their credit department, and I got 14 years in Royal Bank.
Okay.
Outside music, I've only ever had two jobs.
Right.
Well, aside from school, part-time stuff.
Right.
Royal Bank 14 years, Long and McQuaid 28 years.
Okay.
So they needed somebody. A friend of mine, Philip Crichton, was working there in the credit department.
Right.
He knew about my background, so he gave them my name. I got a call, went in, chatted with them.
Oh.
Rest is history. 28 years later, I resigned.
Wow.
Well, not resigned, retired.
Okay.
So,
Bruce, what musical collaborations fascinate you?
wow.
There's some names out there. Guys, you
Well,
love to work with.
I got really a lot of enjoyment out of working with Amara Kanti at the Kuraba, the festival.
Okay.
The African, they brought in guys from Burkina Faso. And that was, they had Ravi was playing the
Shankar?
percussion. Not Ravi Shankar, no. I wish. No, Ravi, what's his name? Nampatali, I think is. I can't remember his last name, but he was playing on the show too.
Okay.
Playing. So they had tablas, they had the African drumming, they had me on keyboards, they had Shamaka on drums, Roger Williams on bass. Man, it was so much fun. Other session. Well, when I went to Spain with Salome, when the government sent us to Spain to represent Canada at Expo
Right.
in 1990.
67?
No,
That's
no,
another- oh,
I
that's
came
another
in
one.
86, yeah.
Okay.
In 92, I think it was,
Okay.
because that was the same year as the Barcelona Olympics.
Oh, okay.
As a matter of fact, while I was in Seville, representing Canada at Seville,
Right.
at Expo, my brother-in-law, Mark McCoy, was winning a gold medal for Canada
Okay.
in Barcelona
Right.
in hurdles.
Yes. Okay.
So that experience in Spain too, that was, and with some of the musicians I met there, because it's a big festival. Third World were there, Irakere were there too.
Heavyweights.
Man, so that was another thing.
Okay.
Playing with Salome with the Windsor Symphony and Doug Riley. That was another thing. And again with Salome was meant so much in my music up here.
Right.
Playing with Mo Kaufman,
Bad flautist.
you know. So
Bad man.
it's a whole lot of things. I
Yes.
mean, back in the day too, playing with Troubadours, playing with Sparrow,
Right.
Hopton Lewis. Lucky. I'm the luckiest person on this planet. To
Right.
have, you know,
Okay.
all these things that, as I put it, that happened to me.
Right.
You had to be in a position for it to happen to you. Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I look around and I look back at my life and I say, I'm the luckiest person on this planet for all this thing to have happened to me and I have no training in anything.
Oh, okay.
And all
Gotcha.
this stuff.
Amazing. Bruce, what would you say your greatest impact with music is?
I don't know, because I don't know who I'm impacting. I don't do it
Okay.
for that. I don't.
All right.
I really, honestly, don't do it for that.
Okay.
I do it for its own. I do it because I like
Love,
it and
right.
because I think it should be done.
Right.
Look, if I certainly don't do it for money. If I was into money, I'd be stinking rich. I mean,
Yes.
look at the stuff. I don't have a CD out there. I don't
Right.
have a book out there.
Yeah.
I do it for its own sake, and I try to talk to people. And so, who the hell do I think I am? I'm just somebody with insights into a whole lot of things.
Right.
That sometimes I think people need to have that kind of perspective.
Yes.
Don't have to agree with it,
Right.
but I think it needs to be shared.
Absolutely.
So I try to do it. Now, write a book. Okay, but you can't discuss anything with a book.
Okay.
So I talk to people.
Right. Okay. Bruce, what was your big break turning point that accelerated your growth?
Musically,
Yes.
I don't know if I could pinpoint anything
Anything.
really, because again, I don't think about those
These
things.
things, okay.
I just go do it.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, I so wish the greatest slogan in advertising history.
Uh-huh.
I so wish I had written that.
Which one?
Just do it.
Nike.
Nike.
Yeah.
That's life.
Yeah.
That's life. Just get
Do
up
it.
off your backside.
Right.
Stop
Do it.
talking about it. Don't cut it.
Yes.
Get up off your backside and do something.
Mhm.
And if you fail, so what? Do it again.
Right.
You just eliminated one way that won't work.
The
Do
best.
another one. Find the way.
Yes. Did you ever envision after all these years?
Wait, hold on. All the horses. All what years? You calling me an old man or something?
No, I never said that. With
I'm
the
teasing.
track record in music, that you would have such an impact on the Canadian music scene.
But honestly, I don't know how much of an impact I have. I'm not doing it for that. I'm just doing it because it got
Love.
to be done.
Yeah, you do it.
I
Right.
mean, if I know I have some kind of impact. How
Right.
much I don't know.
Okay.
And again, I'm not focusing on that.
Right.
I'm not doing it. No.
Yeah. For the love
Look,
and the passion.
look, my ego is in a different place.
Okay.
Everybody got some kind of ego, okay? Yeah, and in performance, you can't be a performer if you don't have some kind of ego, especially if you're a lead singer.
Right.
You cannot perform effectively if you don't have an ego. So
Wow.
it's where you let it rule
Right.
and where you temper it.
Okay.
Balance again. Balance.
Yes.
Too far east is west, okay?
Well put. Bruce, tell us where are you going to be performing next? It's next Sunday.
Well, as a matter of fact, the short answer is I don't know.
Okay.
I know when.
Mhm.
That's next Saturday.
Right.
Again with the Arsenals.
Right.
Where it's gonna be, I'm not sure. He hasn't told me yet.
Okay.
I play with the Arsenals as a sub.
Right.
When the regular player can't make it. I do quite a bit of that.
Okay.
So some people call me a musical hoe.
Okay. Whoa. Not necessarily a bad thing.
No, and a lot of the gigs that I do, I don't really have rehearsals because quite often it's songs that I already
You already
I've
know
been
those
playing.
down pack.
Again, because I'm lucky, so I've managed to play with so many people across so many different genres.
Right.
That, and it's a funny thing. I'll forget what I said 2 minutes ago,
Right.
but I don't forget music like that.
Okay.
Some of the stuff that I haven't played for 40 years, I will go back and play it again.
Right.
It's a strange thing with me when you sing.
Okay. Bruce, I have to ask you. Very rare I get to ask a musician this question.
Uh-oh.
what it is about a musical instrument that mesmerizes women, encapsulates and draws your soul. Because back in the early 80s, I almost lost 2 glamour girls, but I recovered them. What it is with instrument, a musician and an instrument?
Okay. Which instrument?
It doesn't matter.
It matters. Keyboard players don't get as many chicks as guitarists.
I didn't know. Or bass players.
Well, guitarists too, because with the guitarists they're more out front. Keyboard
right.
players tend to be backed in one place.
What about drummers?
Well, the drummers got time to all the flair, all the flicking sticks and all kind of things. So they draw some attention too.
Right.
We keyboard, we boring. Most of us are boring.
Right.
Guitarists, and they have this guitar that's shaped like a body, like a woman.
Right.
And they have it against, and they're grinding against it.
Jimi Hendrix, yes.
It's a sexual thing.
Yes.
So does that kind of answer your question?
Yes, absolutely.
And singers with a mic in front of their face, with a mouth,
or saxophone the shape of this.
And again, they can move around a lot easier than keyboard players.
Okay, right.
Unless you buy one of those remote keyboards and strap it on and go on. But even then, it looks kind of geeky.
Right. But I gotta tell you, Bruce, when I was growing up in Trinidad, I grew up in the countryside. I was 14 years old, and I'm walking down the street there, and donkey cart coming down the road, and I saw this beautiful girl. Man, it's like a flower, and I got so mesmerized, I almost got run over by a donkey cart. Bruce, never again. I almost lost my life, got run over by a donkey cart. I said, drunk or sober, mind your own business.
Oh, you're telling you. And let me tell you, getting run over by a donkey cart does more damage than getting run over by a car.
Yes, the hooves, hooves, and the wheels to boot.
And you scare the donkey get upset with you.
Wow. Anyways, Bruce, when you're performing, what do you do to bring out the best in yourself?
I try to be just a part of the conversation.
Okay.
Because I'm not playing alone.
Right.
Well, unless I'm playing alone. When I am playing alone, I just
let it
leave it alone and just let it play me.
Right.
Which I try to do all the time anyway.
Right.
But when I'm playing in a group, I try to be part of the conversation.
Okay. Right.
I try to play what needs to be played when I try to do justice to the music.
Right.
And listen to what everybody else is doing.
Right.
And try and blend in with what they're doing. So.
Right. You had said something to me when I covered the Arsenal at the Fairbank Flavors down in Eglinton, and we spoke the next day because I was trying to get.
Sorry. Let me just to finish that.
Yes, sorry
for the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Unless it's a specific arrangement, then you have to play what is written or what is arranged.
Right.
It might not be written, but arranged. You have to play specific things.
Right.
Then you're locked in. Then you don't have to worry about who's doing what, because you know that is. Hopefully they're doing what they're supposed to be doing too.
Right.
But generally, in just in playing of the music, and not just the arrangement.
Right.
Inside that, in between the little things like that.
Okay.
When you listen to what else everybody else is doing, and you make it make sense.
Yes. Right.
You're talking about frying eggs, unless you can find a way to tie it together.
Yeah.
You don't start talking about hammering nails in a piece of wood.
Right. Right.
So you play in the context. Whatever you play musically, you make it fit the context.
Good. Yes. So getting back to when I covered the Arsenals in Eglinton, and I called you the next day to get you down on the show, and I drew a reference, and I said I went and covered the Barbados, and I got all these guys with these big cameras and all this broadcasting, and when they didn't even put the stuff, they threw it up on internet. Me with my little consumer cam, put my titles, intros, outros, transitional wipes, and put the thing nicely together. And you said to me, it is not the tool you use to make the furniture. It's the carpenter. It's the carpenter.
Tools don't make furniture.
Wow.
Carpenters make furniture.
That was so profound, Ben.
Look, no, but if you think about it,
Yeah.
a good carpenter with substandard tools will always make better furniture than a bad carpenter
With good tools. Yes.
If you think it's the tools that making the furniture, you do it.
Yeah.
If you think it's the camera that's taking my photographs, you take it. You show me.
If the food that's been cooked for you.
You know what I'm saying? It's not the stove cooking the food. John Long had a saying one time. He used to say, "Oh, that's easy to do.
Yeah.
Just ask anybody who's never done it.
Yeah.
They'll tell you how easy it is."
Right. Because one time this beautiful girl cooked a fine dinner for me, and I almost want to eat off my fingers. I said, "Did you cook on gas or electric?" She says, "None of the above." She cooked on wood, outside, with nature.
Sure, but even so, somebody else cooking.
Yeah.
You think the food will taste the same?
No.
Not necessarily.
Not necessary. Yeah.
Mind you, going to taste it better. Might be a better cook. But the point though is that it ain't the wood stove cooking the food.
Right.
No matter what kind of stove.
Right.
It makes a difference, absolutely.
Yeah.
But the more important thing is the person that's cooking it.
Right.
Because the stove couldn't do it without the person.
And I had some fans. I told them a year ago I had you on my show, and just a reference I draw on. They just draw like a magnet to Bruce. The line you throw, donkey run by itself, look very fast. But when he run with thoroughbred, he fighting for last place. And it's, who is this guy? When is he coming on?
No, actually, what the conclusion to that is, yeah, the donkey always looks fast running by itself until
right.
you put it in thoroughbred race,
Yes.
and that's when you find out it's just an ass.
They just love the lines. I'm telling you. When is he coming on? I said, I'm going to have it on this
That
Saturday.
ain't my fault, you know. It's look, grannies are the greatest, the wisest people.
True that.
And I'm collecting a set of granny sayings. I have almost 300, almost 400, and from different sources. From the Caribbean, I have some the Italian kind of thing, some of the Africans. I have a whole, Barbados got a whole whack of them too.
Okay.
So I'm collecting them. I have almost like, I think I have over 300.
Right. Bruce, when it's all said and done for you with music, photography, your writing, things like that, how would you like to be remembered?
You mean when I die?
We got to go eventually.
Of course.
Yes, right.
Of
How
course.
would you like to be
But
remembered?
then when you're beating around the bush, when I leave this place, how would I have to remember?
Yeah.
By who? Because I would like to be
Family.
remembered differently by different people.
Fans, family.
Because I don't want my grandchildren to remember the same way as my children remember me.
Okay.
And I don't want my musician friends to remember me the same as my old high school friends to remember me.
Okay.
But the most important for me is that I be remembered as a decent human being who tried to live a decent life.
Right.
Who tried to live by the grammar school motto that I claim to live by.
Right.
I slip up to, absolutely. Jesus Christ slip up to. They kill him. Okay?
Right.
So I don't expect the whole world to like what I do.
Right.
I don't like everything I do.
Right.
So we could disagree and you could still be my best friend. That's what friendship is. Honesty.
Right.
So I'd like to be, I'd like for the most important thing to me is to be a decent human being and try to be honest.
Yeah.
Try and speak the truth and try to think objectively. I'd like to be remembered as somebody who learned how to think,
Right.
not somebody who was told what to think.
Well, okay. Big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Which it seems to be that most of us try to tell our children what to think.
Right.
I was lucky. I grew up away from that kind of thing.
Right.
Grasshopper brain, you see.
I hear you. Bruce, you're walking down the street one day,
With a pistol in your hand, Johnny too. Sorry, man.
and a young cat said, Mr. Skerritt, I want to pursue a musical career. How would you enlighten them?
Well, I'd ask a few questions. The first question I would ask is, what have you done so far to get yourself on the road?
Right.
Because without that first step, you have no journey. What have you done so far? What is it you like to do? And then move from there. Because you see, everybody wants to go to heaven.
Nobody wants
Nobody wants to die. Everybody wants to smell the flowers. Nobody wants to water the garden and pull up the weeds. doesn't work like that. Like I say, the acorn ain't the oak tree.
Right.
You can have all the talent you want.
Right.
Talent is 5%. 95% is bust tail.
Nice. Bruce, where can fans find you on social media?
I'm on Facebook. I don't do a whole. It's a funny thing. I tend not to do a whole lot of that. I was on Facebook for a while,
Right.
very active. I'm not quite as active. I still check every now and then, but I'm not quite as active as I used to be.
Okay.
So, in that respect, I slip up. I definitely. I need to. You know.
Bring up, yeah.
But again, you see, with my mindset,
Old school.
what I do, yeah, not just old school, but what I do it for their own sake, and to spend so much time is going to take away from what I do.
Got you.
Because social media can be, I used to call Facebook wastebook. Because you can waste
Waste a lot
so
of
much time.
True.
While I'm doing that and responding to 15 different friends and chatting with this, and I could be doing some photography.
Yeah.
I could be playing some music. I could be composing. I could be.
Right. Bruce, I have to ask you, some of these young musicians, especially rappers, hip hoppers, and so on, and made a ton of money drinking $5,000 champagne, pouring in a pool, tons of girls around it, making millions of dollars, smoking, sorting this and that and the other thing. Next thing, in a few years, you hear the guy broke, going begging for government cheese. What advice would you give them?
Look, you put a pig in a palace. Guess what it is? A lion?
Nope. Still a piglet.
Absolutely. See, it always has to do with education too.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about going to school.
Right.
Because your education starts at home.
Right.
That's the foundation.
Right.
A solid foundation. If you have a proper foundation, you build in a house. You have a proper foundation, you could put a tent on it.
Okay.
You could put a shed, a yard shed on it. You could put a 2-story house on it. You could put an apartment building on it.
Right.
You could put an industrial complex. You understand? Once you have a solid foundation, and in your life, your foundation starts at home. So you don't have that solid foundation, your house is going to fall. You build up this massive house, have the millions of money, you build up all these guys, this massive skyscraper on a weak foundation. It is going to fall.
Right.
It ain't rocket science, you know.
Right.
Everything on this planet works off exactly the same principles, but you have to look where it counts.
Right.
You can't stand up on the beach and look out at the waves and think you're seeing the ocean.
Right. Right.
You can't lick the icing and think you're tasting the cake.
Right. Bruce, anything else you want to get out there that we haven't touched?
Look, don't start me, because
All right.
I will go till next year.
All right.
And by
Any
the way,
shout-
you said it's been a whole year since I've been here.
Yeah, absolutely. Those days I had the little cam, and every 5 minutes I had to go fire up the thing. We didn't have the banner. So we got things in
Well,
let's call evolution.
Time flying. We must be having fun.
We are. We are.
I honestly didn't realize it was so long.
Yeah, it was a year. I've been on the show a year and a half.
Well, thank you for having me again.
You're welcome. But before we go, any shout out to friends or anybody you want to get
Well,
out there?
Marguerite Atherton is here from New York, and she will be performing on the show in St. Kitts on September 23rd. I need to give that a little bit of a push again because we probably have some Kittitians that will be interested in going back down.
Send me the information, and I'll get it over.
Okay, and I'll send you a link to the
and I'll put it on my social
tickets
media.
available on where is it again? Anyhow, that is
We'll figure all of that. We'll figure out all of that stuff. Bruce, it's been a pleasure having you on my show. As usual, you always bring your fun and energy and wisdom to Radio Regent broadcast facilities. And when I have people, poking me, when is he coming? When is he coming? I said, you know what? Cool breeze. You must have done something right out there.
Well, it's always fun being here with you, man.
Yes.
You're fun.
Thank you, thank you, Bruce. Thank you for stopping by Radio Regent on the Cool Breeze Experience Show. Come see us again. Thanks for showing your love to our city and Radio Regent broadcast facilities, which manifest in our greatness.
Thanks again for having me.
You're welcome, sir.
And anytime.
Thank you, sir. But stick around. We gotta do a couple of things there.